Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good day, dear friend. On behalf of Hans Sheikh Ahmed Al-Fahd Al-Sabah, President of Olympic Council of Asia and Asian Handball Federation, I welcome you all to the opening of this online expect coaching course. During current situation, the COVID-19 pandemic has spread to almost all countries of the world, have also disrupted many regular aspects of life, including sport and physical activity. To safeguard the health of athletes and other involved, most major sports events at international, regional, and national levels have been cancelled or postponed. In such situation, organizing the online courses can be very helpful for mental and physical health. This is a good chance for our expert coaches to learn some techniques from our experts' knowledge and extend their hand to promote handball game and develop handball players in Asia. As the president of Asian Handball Federation, as COVID-19 is taking so much from us, but it's also given us something special, the opportunity to come together as one team, to work together, to learn together, to grow together. At the end, I would like to thank Dr. Hassan Mustafa, President of International Handball Federation, and all council members for their help and support for organizing this course. Wish you safety and good health.
Of course, it is my honor as AHF representative and IHF lecturer to represent my colleagues, TCM President, Mr. Dietrich Peter, Mr. Paul, and all the upcoming guests, hopefully, that they will carry out the mission of next few days. This is an important program, an important course, thanks to IHF that approved that Asia will be a model for all the continents. We wanted to give an opportunity for the elite experienced coaches to honor their work in their countries by offering them the B license course. This is only once, and was a suggestion from IHF office to honor your work, You know, IHF now is working in having everybody licensed, all the coaches licensed. Asian Handball Federation would like to be the leading continent in implementing this qualification of all the coaches. I like to thank the expert group, Dr. Khalid Sharji, who is the course coordinator, Dr. Taysir Al-Mansi, he's a member, Mr. Chui from board member and from Korea, and Professor Pal Singh from India for their cooperation, for help, and for having this course available, and Mr. Ali Habibi from Iran as well. So I ask you coaches not only to attend, because I know the seriousness of this course. I know that in the end, if you deserve the B license, you will deserve it of your work. Your reputation speaks about yourself. And as AHF, Asian Handball Federation, we will carry out with the multiplier course after this course. So we have a lot of things happening for the coaches in the continent. In the end, thank you so much for coming on time. Thank you, Dr. Khalid, especially. I wish that the attendance, the seriousness will continue. Sorry for the delay because of technical problem. It will not happen because I know the IHF office and I know their punctuality. I would like to give the floor now to Mr. there is a small speech from Mr. Badr Al-Diab from the AHF. Then Mr. Dietrich Peter, our president, will take over, the president of CCM. Thank you so much, and let's have all a fantastic course to go. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. Thorsten, can you start the video?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good day, dear friend. On behalf of Hans Sheikh Ahmed Al-Fahd Al-Sabah, President of Olympic Council of Asia and Asian Handball Federation, I welcome you all to the opening of this online expect coaching course. During current situation, the COVID-19 pandemic has spread to almost all countries of the world, have also disrupted many regular aspects of life, including sport and physical activity. To safeguard the health of athletes and other involved, most major sports events at international, regional, and national levels have been cancelled or postponed. In such situation, organizing the online courses can be very helpful for mental and physical health. This is a good chance for our expert coaches to learn some techniques from our experts' knowledge and extend their hand to promote handball game and develop handball players in Asia. As the president of Asian Handball Federation, as COVID-19 is taking so much from us, but it's also given us something special, the opportunity to come together as one team, to work together, to learn together, to grow together. At the end, I would like to thank Dr. Hassan Mustafa, President of International Handball Federation, and all council members for their help and support for organizing this course. Wish you safety and good health.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks, Thorsten. Okay, then from my side and from the side of IHF, some, what is now? Okay, some welcome words. First of all, I want to give you all the warmest greetings from our IHF president, Dr. Hassan Mustafa. He can't be present today in this welcome session. He is still intensively involved in the preparation of the World Championship in Egypt 2021. We are all now working really hard. We need this restart of handball, of our sport worldwide. It is not easy, but we are really positive, and we think that the World Championship can start in January in Egypt. The end of last year, it was a proposal also from our IHF president during the Olympic qualification tournament in Qatar to create, let me say, a new structure of coaches education in Asia. To develop the handball in Asia, he mentioned that we need in Asia, and that's very important what he mentioned, a new, modern and younger coaches generation. In the last 2 years, I think the first steps was made. For example, Korea organized a really excellent handball academy in Seoul. Paul Landore and myself, we were present, and everything was really fantastic organized. They are on a really good way. In this COVID-19 year, Korea established a really good and successful virtual academy. I was also present as a lecturer. So in this way, we have to continue in all regions in Asia. This course today, which starts for so-called experienced coaches in Asia, is one of the next steps. The idea is not only, and this is very important, and Nabil mentioned this, is not only to organize a B license course for you that you receive at the end a license. We hope, and we explain it later on, that some of you will work also in the future, let me say, as a continental lecturer in the coaches education of Asian Handball Federation. These continental lectures are, from our side, important multipliers for the implementation of the IHF license structure in whole Asia. So thanks to Mr. Bada and to Nabil Tara to organize this important first step. That was from my side the welcome for this course. Thanks a lot. So, and then I think Paul and myself, we will start to give you an overview what we have planned, what are a little bit also background informations for you, and really important and that's the first information. Also, you must do something to receive a B license, and this we will explain today in detail. And tomorrow we both continue with a presentation for general tendencies in world handball. So at first, Paul, I will start the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully everyone can see it. And important for all of you, it is not only that we are speaking, we are planning also in several steps to discuss with you some topics. So also be please prepared for this. I think we are more than 30 participants, but with a little bit discipline, I think we can organize this. So it is also important for us that we are organizing discussions and receive also a little bit feedback from yourself. Okay, so some general remarks in the first session about objectives, structure, main content, and the organization. Yeah, and that is our first question to you. The current situation in Asia. What position does Asia take in international handball? We will give you some remarks to this, but then we want to ask you, what is the reason for this situation? When we are looking to the men's area, that is a so-called IHF performance ranking based on the last two World Championships, then you can see clear is that France and Denmark is on the top. There's France, Denmark, Spain, and Germany that are in the moment the top nations, followed by the Scandinavian teams. I think that is very clear. But under the best 16 nations, on the 14th position, only Qatar. You remember Qatar was vice world champion 2013. So only one team. And when you look to the second area, the developed national federations, then we can find only 4 member federations from Asia. Clear it is Bahrain, clear is Japan, and always Korea and Saudi Arabia. Maybe when you compare a little bit with the women's area, we can always say that the women's in Asia are a little bit better, but also the basis is not good developed behind Korea and Japan. So in the third level, the so-called emerging national federations, you can find in Asia a lot of member federations, but in general, Paul, what is your impression? We must say, so when we are looking a little bit to Africa, Africa is better than Asia in the moment.
Yeah. We can observe, for example, that several teams, several nations are present in Africa last years, and also with youth teams, junior and under 18 years old, men and women. So for Asia, it's urgent now to go forward to prepare the future.
Yeah, I mentioned Africa. You can see here on the list on the 10th is Egypt, and maybe after the World Championship in Egypt next year a little bit more in the ranking, higher in the ranking. On the 13th is Tunisia, and a lot of African nations are followed in the second ranking. So I think we have to do something in Asia, but. And that is for me one of the most important points. Let us have a look to the youth and junior area. In youth and junior, everything starts. And here's the ranking. We made a ranking from 2015 to 2019. You can find on the left side the ranking by points, the distribution. You can see it down on the left side. And you can do the same from the medals ranking. It's a little bit similar. Very clear, France is in the top. I always said is second, third, and fourth. It's a little bit a joke, but France is an excellent member federation with, I think, one of the best long-term concepts in youth training, and sure they are in front, and that is very clear. But you cannot find no one from Asia, no one. And also have a look on the fourth place by points is Egypt. Egypt was in the last Youth World Championship world champion, and also they are going forward in the development of youth and junior. So where are the teams from Asia? One short remark here from the last Junior World Championship under 21 in Spain, and from North Macedonia, from the youth. Always in the youth area, you can find Japan and sometimes Korea. Also, when you have a look in the youth area, Korea was not present. And sometimes Bahrain, but it is not stable. It is not stable. And only we can say, Paul, you can explain this a little bit for us, was a little bit surprised in the Youth World Championship, Japan.
Yeah, but not so surprised, because I know that Japan, since the last 2 years especially, we discussed with, and we organized some close cooperation, for example, with France. And I know that Japan organized better work with the young team, the youth team especially. And about the other countries, for example, Bahrain, Chinese Taipei, or Saudi Arabia, we observe sometimes during those World Championship, interesting level with some players, very good individual level, but during the championship, difficult to observe stability. So it's difficult to have a good result at the end.
Yeah, and also to find a good nation who invest a lot in the youth and junior area. In the last 10 years, it was difficult to find a member federation in Asia who is doing this. I know that Korea and Japan now invest a lot, but it is a long way. So, and that we want to discuss with you. Maybe you have other observations, other impressions. What are the reasons? What are the causes of Asia position in the world handball? Can you give us some ideas from your side? What is mentioned here that could be reasons? Could be that you use wrong training methods, maybe problems with the talent system, something to do with coaches' education. That are only ideas, but we want to hear from you. What do you think? What are the reasons for this position of Asia and world handball? At the beginning of this course, I think it's important to discuss this. Okay. Someone want to give us a feedback to this question?
Hello.
Yeah, please. And always mention at the beginning your name and
Yes.
your country.
Yes, sir. I am Atanu Majumdar from India. So then actually last 30 years, I am attached with the Indian handball. So I have seen there is some difference. Number one difference is the physical difference. Physical difference between the European and the others, the first A-graded country of the Asia and India. Number two, our physiological means conditional differences. So that is also when we are going to the international match or Asian Championship. So I feel, so up to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, our teams can fight with the other teams. Afterwards, we can't fight. So then physical and conditional difference is the main. Then is the third is the technical problem, technical differences. There is absolutely for the coaching, absolutely for the technical development from the childhood to the other and after thereafter. So that is the main problem. And finally, that is the tactical problem is there. That is the lack of coaches, lack of the international experienced coaches is our in country. So that's it. This is the four main differences is the one in country. It is my observations.
Yeah, thank you. Really good analysis. Yeah, some more opinions.
Hikmet Lami from Iraq.
Yeah, please.
I think I speak about Iraq. I think there is two reasons for the position: coach education and the competition system.
Mm-hmm. Coaches,
So in Iraq, there
competition system. You mean, for example, less matches or not so strong matches? What do you think?
yes. There in Iraq there is a less match for, and there is no a league for the youth system and for children also. There is no league for them, just for men. So it's like not a league. It's like a competition. Like for 5 days only, we play the league.
Mm-hmm.
So we need a competition system like in the world. We need a league. This year, because of coronavirus, they diminish the match also. They decreases the match to only 12 clubs participate in the league.
Yeah.
And also the coach education here in Iraq we don't make a training for the coach. We also from the IHF, I hope them to make a training for coaches here in Iraq in the future. I hope that.
Yeah, we have some contacts for this, by the way, but maybe we can discuss it later in the course. Yeah, some more ideas, proposals.
Yes, Musa Hazza from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think there is two things. First of all, when you are looking for the beginners player, like when you go to the school, this is the very important. You have to choosing the potential players, especially in the physical players. This is the most important thing. And the second one is we don't have a professional system here in Arabic, especially in Saudi Arabia. We don't have it. So this is, I think, these two problems it's gonna be. We have to solve it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, thanks. And someone other opinions? It is interesting in the moment. Everyone from you always mentioned aspects concerning to youth training. And I think the biggest gap to Europe is that Europe and the biggest, the top member federations in Europe, they all have a really good talent system. Beginning from handball at school, from children handball, going up to, over the youth area, up to the junior area and on the top. I think that's the biggest difference. And we can discuss a lot in the next days in this course, but we have to focus also to recall that this is one of the key facts in each member federation needs, is written here on the slide on the right side, a long-term training concept starting from the youth, from the children area, six years old, going up. And at the same time, that is clear, if you don't have a competition system, then you have no chance. So around you need some requirements. And this is also a point we have to discuss. Paul, you can add this a little bit.
Yeah, exact. Depend on our experience. If you don't have a long-term training concept, you don't have a your own education system, it's difficult to find a good stability and to have a good result in the long-term period. So it's very important for each country not only to understand what they need, but also to understand and to discuss and to find their own way. That's not so easy. It's easier to copy as to find their own way.
Yeah. So I think this is a point we have to discuss, and also, we want to point it out. As you know, from January on in Egypt, we will have a World Championship with 32 teams, but not only in the men's and in the women's area, also from next year on in the youth and junior area. You see here the match schedule for the junior and youth area is a little bit small differences to the men's and women's area. You see you can play the preliminary round with 32 teams, then immediately in these 8 groups after 3 matches, you divide the whole competition in 2 groups. We have the main round with 16 teams and the placement round with also 16 teams. And one idea was that direct after the preliminary round, you can play in not so big differences between 2 teams. They are in a level more similar, hopefully, also in the placement round. So the experience especially for youth teams to have on an international level, really a lot of really good teams, that could be for the future important. And don't forget, we have 8 teams more. 8 teams more. This also means Asia will have more places for youth and junior world championship. So that is, we were thinking that is a little bit a motivation to focus more to the development of youth and junior training. Paul, you?
Yes, and don't forget, if you have time to prepare or better preparation, you can create also a surprise in the first round. And with 3 matches, if you win 1 and draw a second one, you can be perhaps in the main round immediately. So you can propose for your players a very good experience during this competition. And if you don't go to the main round, you will have also in the placement round a better interesting matches, because the level will be closer as usual, depends of each groups. And for the experience at the end of the competition, we think it will be a very good experience for the staff and for the teams and for the federation to continue to prepare the future, not only one competition, but with 2 or 3 competitions in a row. So the players can have during 4 years, for example, with youth and junior, they can have a very good experience to prepare the future.
And Paul, you can explain it better. Also, we have a concept now to help, let me say, development nations when they can qualify for a youth or junior world championship, to support them with traveler coaches and so on.
Yeah, and we hope next year we can organize this. Idea is to help depend on the preparation phases with, for example, a traveler coach to help one team, each team, and also if some nation needs an expert, for example, for goalkeeper, for example, for specific physical preparation, to give better advices, to be sometimes during trainings camps to help preparation. So our idea with Dietrich is to prepare this for the future. And also during some international tournaments to propose also cooperation with referees, refereeing with delegates, each Asian delegates, Asian referees, to have also a better experiences before the World Championship. And also could be a good time, to share different experiences, not only to have some matches, but also to share. For example, we can organize some common training sessions. We can organize discussions with coaches, with referees, with delegates, even with players, to help them to have a better understanding of the future, of their level. And so IHF can help with traveler coaches to help several teams before and then during the competition. Also, we have the same idea, not to be usual on the bench, but to be close to the bench. The staff, the national staff, is made responsible, but IHF can propose better advices to help each team.
Okay, so this new structure, competition structure in IHF, is a little bit of motivation, especially to invest more in the youth and junior area, to develop a so-called long-term training concept. Okay, you must at first qualify on the continental area, but it is a way, and it is possible at the end. Maybe you can qualify for a big championship. So this is what Paul mentioned. IHF can help in various ways together with the continent federations to help in structures, to help to establish talent systems, and so on. And this is it is really also important for the future. So yeah, we will explain it later on. So coming to one point was also mentioned from your side. What are the reasons for the situation in Asia? And also some participants mentioned coaches education. Here you can see now the new system. Clear, IHF can help with 3 different expert groups. You see on the left side, we have experts for special knowledge, what Paul mentioned. We have really good, excellent athletic coaches, especially from Scandinavia or also from France, are really good, experienced experts in athletic coaches. In athletic training, we have goalkeeper coaches. You know, in my commission is Mats Olsson, for me, the best goalkeeper coach in the world. And if you have time, sure, he will come and to help you. Then we have IHF lectures for the coaches education, and on the right side we have lectures especially for the teachers education for our successful concept in handball at school. And also, by the way, we are Paul. We always have also good connection to top clubs in the top member federations, and they are mostly also ready to come. No?
Yeah, that's
if
also,
they have time.
Yes, yes. It's our also. We are very motivated to organize this, to share. I know that share the experiences, and I know that a lot of clubs, professional clubs, or some regions in some countries, they are interested to share the experiences and to invite to go to share basically their experiences.
Yeah, and then you see, and I'm very happy about this. Thanks a lot to Asian Handball Federation, and especially to my old friend Nabil Taha. I know him very well since long years, that he was responsible to organize this experts committee. Then we have now we have a structure, and we can work also in the different regions. You can see it here in Asia. So we can develop step by step a really good coaches education structure. And don't forget, we need multipliers, continental lectures. So then how the education could look like in Asia. What we mentioned, the central goals are to implement the IHF coaches license structure that is worldwide, the general orientation. And on the left side, you see here this normal pyramid from the D to the A license. You can see the D license is more in the area of children handball, schools, school level, you know this. The C license is more on a national level. B license, clear what we are doing today on a continental level, organized by the continents, and A license at the end on an international level. But also we can create A license courses, for example, in the future only for Asia. That is also possible, or only for Africa. So, and what are the goals? We mentioned this. We need on each continent really good multipliers responsible for the coaches education. And for this, we will have in the future a special course from IHF side. And clear, the goal at the end is to promote a younger, modern generation of coaches. You know, the digital world is switching a lot, is changing a lot. So we have to use all possibilities for communication, for use technical equipment, and so on. Also, what we are doing today, a virtual course, I think for 5 years, nobody had an idea about this, but today it's very common. So step by step, we have to develop our structure. Yeah, I think it's enough, Paul, or do you have?
No, it's enough at this moment about this.
Yeah.
See, this idea about academy also is very important to have a basic structure where the coach can find permanent information, for example, or can share his own experience with the help of this academy. And this academy can be close to him. Close to him means in the area, in Asia, we can create several academies, for example, depend of the future, what the needs of the future.
Yeah. Okay, so what is our plan? You see it here. How we want to implement the coaches education structure. First step is today. IHF B license course for many years working, experienced top coaches. It's the same method like we have done since long years, Paul, in Europe. No? We had the same situation when we start with the license structure. We in each top nation we had a lot of experienced coaches. And it makes no sense to give them the order. Please start by the D license. That makes no sense.
No. That was the past. The classical way is now not working. So we must think about adapted education way, depending on the needs of the coaches.
Yeah. So that is the reason that we will organize today this or realize today this B license course. The second step will be starting next year, hopefully next year, IHF multiplier course. These multipliers will be in a future responsible for the D and C license course in the different regions of Asia. Then we are coming a big step forward if we can do this. The third step, I think that is necessary, also what you mentioned for the reasons of the lack in the performance in Asia. We have to focus to better education for youth coaches, and we are thinking to organize in Asia a special course only for youth coaches, like a project, not only a course, also maybe for 2 or 3 years to develop youth training in Asia in different regions. It is clear. So we will discuss this with the Continental Federation, with Nabil, with the group with Nabil. But we are thinking this is one of the most important steps. And sure, parallel on a regional level, with the multipliers, they can start with D and C license courses. And sure, we will also have an A license course for Asia, maybe in 2022, we will see. Yeah, Paul, you can mention this, that was our idea to propose Asia also this project for youth coaches.
Yeah, idea, yes, is to develop this age category, not only a course, not only some courses, but an education, a special education project for a long-term education way. And we need to have the collaboration of the federations to organize this. For example, if we have some youth coaches groups, depend of nations, depend of zones, our idea is to connect these courses to help the coach to build the future education concept in their own country, to find a way, new way if necessary, or adapted way, not to copy, but to have the basics to create this long-term training concept for youth especially.
Yeah. So here you can find also a little bit an idea how we are going forward in Asia. Important information to you after you can successful finish the first B license course. So only short remarks to the multiplier education. We want to establish this coaches education, responsible persons which are responsible for the D and C license. And also the main content will be development of youth training and promotion of talents. So also we want to organize a little bit a sightening process to find talented multipliers. Hopefully a lot of coaches here in this course will be ready after this course to go in this way. This is a very, very important way to develop the handball in Asia, to find really good multipliers for the coaches education in all regions in Asia. Okay.
Yes,
Then,
and this group,
yeah.
this future group, multipliers group in Asia, depend of our point of view, is a focus next 2 years to have a very, very motivated group, multipliers group, to prepare the future. And inside the group during next days for us, for Dietrich and I, and Nabil and the Asian Federation, it's very important to see, to know with who we can prepare the future.
Yeah. So then, as an information for you, it's not necessary to go with so-called 90 hours for a B license course, but maybe also only a general information for you. What are the content of an IHF B license course? And here you can see, and that is the typical long-term training concept, similar in the top European nations. Is it similar in France? Is it similar in Germany? It's similar in Spain. We are going in, let me say, 5 steps, starting in the age of 6 to 12, handball for beginners. This is a D license at the same time. Then the second is 13, 14, could be 15, could be 12, depends to the individual development of youngsters. Then we have the so-called basic training. In this way, we are only focused to the individual training, no tactics, no team tactics, no 6-6-0 defense, nothing, only to develop individual the players. That is a big topic for a C license. Then in the next 2 steps, we are coming to the advanced training, and then we are going step by step to going more in the specializations. Then we are speaking 16, 17 years old, from pivots, from wing players, from backup players. We have special training methods and training exercises for this. So that is more than, and also the cooperations in this, in attack, in the defense, are then more and more important. So that is more the topic of a B license, and then leading to the top performance and what happened on the top training level. That is a topic for the A license. But this is a general long-term training concept. This could be also a little bit a model for the future for Asia, but still we have to adapt, always to adapt to the specific situation, Paul.
Yeah, and this situation, you can understand easily that the B license, this coach is central to understand how to go to the basics with the young, with the general individual education way, to the high level, or to the development of the handball in his country. So this B license must have a good understanding, a good analysis level, a good understanding of the international handball, basically, but especially a very good knowledge of his handball in his country to propose and to manage a very good and very interesting and very motivate education process, especially for young, to go to the higher level.
Okay, so then we are doing this quick. You also receive all presentations, all videos at the end. Mr. Khaled will organize this. Only for short information that are typical content modules of a normal IHF B license with 90 hours. You see, we are speaking about analysis. We are speaking how you can create your own game philosophy, classical or digital coaches tools. Talent sighting is clear, a big topic, team management. Always don't forget, we will do it also here in this course. IHF rule interpretation. This could be a small problem in Asia. Be careful what happened in 2 days with Ramon Gallego, with our PRC referee head coach. I can tell you, I was with Ramon by all last competitions in Asia, and we had a lot of problems, especially with this topic. So be prepared for this lesson in 2 days. Yeah, and also you see here, athletic training, sure, it's a big topic. Training planning from individual players, from the team, from the preparation phases, different phases. That is one big topic. Sure, attack, defense, goalkeeper, speed game, and whatever. But Paul, you can explain it much better than me. This left picture. Why we choose this picture, this black picture with different modules? You must explain this.
Yeah, you are all of you experienced coach. You have a lot of experience training, competitions, and so on. So you know that when we are talking about team sport, sometimes we are talking a lot too many times with analytic methods. And this analytic method, you know, it's not enough. It's not the way from the last 10, 15 years now. So this 3D cube is kind of representation of a complex analysis, a complex training education way, a complex management, a complex planification. So means that all criteria are connected. And when you are talking about athletic training, you are also prepare a speed game, or you are also talking about training methodology, or you are training about specific athletic training with goalkeepers. So our idea with this 3D is that you definitively understand, but depend on your experience, we are convinced it's not necessary to explain to you, that we must discuss about the complex future training education way, also for your players, for your team, for your competitions in your country, also for Asia, to prepare the future. An adapted education process must be in a complex system. That's a short resume, but we will talk about this later also. Also, we ask to some lectures next days to share the experiences depend of this complex concept.
Okay, and then you can continue. We have for each license levels, from D, C, B, A, we have a clear profile we have a clear definition of abilities of a D, C, B, and A licensed coach. So
that's a proposal about the B licensed coach. So have a look about the, not only the sentences, but especially the first word at each sentence. The first one, for example, our B licensed coach must be able to contribute to a general preparation plan of the games and players project. So he must have a general overview, not a small or part of the focus of the plan, a general preparation plan. It's very important. Also, our B licensed coach, and you are very good examples, each of you. We have your CV, and we saw that you are all of you a leader in your with your team, with your inside your federation, and so on your club, in your area. And our leader, he must understand the main task of the coach, the question of management of the team. He must be easy with this basic idea. B license, also one of his competencies is to coordinate a team project. And in this part, the main the two main words are specific and adapted. It's not only a question to prepare a general project, but this moment it's to prepare a specific and adapted project and current needs, not to copy what's happened physical area, for example, 10, 15 years ago, but now what the main needs of specific physical preparation to my team. Basically, I am our coach is manage a team in competition, and especially in top level. Could be top level in club, national teams. Could be top level in youth, junior, or senior level, but top team at first, top level. And also our B license, remember the structure we saw some minutes ago, he also must be a leader, must lead the preparation plan for youth top level group, especially for talent players. Not only the head coach, for example, of senior team, or the best team of the country, the best teams of the country, the professional league of the country, but he must have also in his competence possibility to create and to lead especially, to lead the preparation plan for youth, but top level talent players. Basically, if you lead the preparation plan, you must be able also to manage a project in the talent signing for youth, for young handball players, and also how to identify talents in youth training in his country. So he must have a good knowledge of to manage the criteria and to organize in a special project, in an adapted project in his country. One basic competence of a B licensed coach also is ability to identify and to understand, not only identify, but also understand the specific performance criteria of a top level player. How I must manage a top level player, I must identify and understand the performance criteria of my players. So you know that you have 10 players, you have to understand perhaps 10 different behaviors, different analysis depend of each player. Not so easy work. Basically, to analyze, to have a good analysis and understanding of the game's criteria, that's a basic work of each coach, but with a good expertise of our B licensed coach. We need to insist about this training session. You know, a usual training session for any group, any player is one kind of training session. Now we are talking about the performance training session, which when you see training session, some teams, some player, when you enter and you see your observer, we must in some minutes understand which criteria we can use to analyze. This is a training session, a performance training session. And this, our coach must be able, depend of different age groups, depend of practice, and depend basically of performance of the players. Also, not so easy for some coaches, must be able also to evaluate yourself, your leadership, your own leadership. And sometimes it's not so easy to organize them himself. So you must perhaps use some experts to help you to analyze your own leadership. You are also a role model in your club, in your, depend on your players, depend on your team, depend on federations. So always during the match, the training, private, that depend on your own responsibility. So be aware of your role as a role model. And sometimes it's not so easy for, depend on competition stress or different adaptations, not so easy, but it's very important to control and to be aware of this role model.
Paul, short remark in a session with Ramon Gallego, we will show you at the end 2 video scenes happened in big Asia competitions, and we will discuss exact this, what Paul here mentioned. We will discuss exact this. We were really shocked that this was possible last year in Asia, but you will see this, the scenes.
Okay, and the end, basically, as any people, also be aware about develop your self-confidence, self-criticism, social competence, your personality. We are talking about leadership, and now we are talking about your personality. So personality traits of a coach is also important. Our B licensed coach must have general knowledge, and as a role model, he must be able to have this self-confidence and social competence also.
Yeah, I think that is the end really important. We will not looking only to that a B licensed coach or in general a coach with an IHF license can understand the handball in a good way, know the good tactics and whatever training methods. No. Also, it is always a question of personality.
And you know that perhaps the last 10 years, we saw that this basic quality, leadership and also personality is more and more important. Perhaps to know very well how to manage 6-0 defense and different tactics is one thing, but perhaps the leadership, the personality perhaps is will be more and more important.
Yeah. We can say at the end, the really successful top coaches, they all have a clear, really good personality. And that is also one of the reasons that they are successful. Okay, then some remarks to your course, for B license course for experienced top coaches. You see, it is a special shortened course, 30 instead of 90 hours. So we choose topics in connection with the group around Nabil Tar. I think that was we had a good discussion to find interesting topics for you. Requirements, we also discussed requirements that you can take part in this course. You see, I don't want to explain every criteria, but clear you need experience as a coach for a longer time. And also you can have different functions. Some are mentioned. Handball specific education or others at the university was also a criteria. Important also always for us, the nomination by the National Federation and the approval by the expert committee, and also at the end by IHF. And also it's clear the whole course is in English, you must understand this. So that was the criteria. Now, be careful. Now, it is also you must do something at the end to receive a B license. So that are the requirements, only 3, not so much. So at first, complete participation in the virtual coaches course. Mr. Khaled will control this. Second, this will Paul explain in detail in the following session. Preparation of a homework. Every one of you must do a homework with a title Team Preparation Project. It is a homework you must write around 15 to 20 pages with graphics and whatever. You can be very creative. And the creation is a little bit to the structure, which Paul will explain in the following minutes. And now be careful. You must deliver this homework by 11th of December, not on the 12th, maybe on the 10th, that is possible, but never on the 12th and never on the 13th. It must be in the evening of 11th of December at the latest. And you give the homework to Dr. Khaled Al-Jari. He will receive it also to us. And the assessment will be made okay by IHF from our side, and also from Nabil and Khaled from the expert group in Asia. So it is also clear to say it is possible that we can say at the end, this homework is not enough to receive a B license. This is possible. Then we have to discuss and find ways how we can go forward. Also, only a small warning, a small yellow card, this is possible. Paul will explain this. And what is positive, the 3 best homeworks from our decision will be presented on the 15th of December 2020. So at the end, also participants have take over a role in this course, and that was a little bit also our goal. So also we have also a small competition until the 11th. Okay. That was the introduction. What are the content? What are the organization? What are goals? And now the next for your homework explanation from Paul. I'm out.
Okay. Alors, try to find my document. Okay, alors. Partager, partager. Utiliser le partage d'écran. Son. Autoriser. Ok. Hop, 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 hop. Zoom. Okay. Oh là là, I must come back, Dietrich.
Oh, I can do it for you.
Okay.
That is not a problem.
Because to share my screen, I must.
Yeah, but it's not a problem.
Okay.
So here it is. So then this. Once again. So Bildschirm presentation.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah. I go in the presentation mode. So now, you see it? Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thanks.
So and give me all when I have to go forward.
Okay, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not the last. Oh, I think it's okay. So
Yeah.
Idea is to for the next days, we will give you some details about the team's preparation project. So it missed some flags in this first slide, but you will see later. So just one clip to introduce. Just to introduce that we are talking about the top level. Top level means you are each of you coach, head coach or assistant coach, mainly head coach of teams in club or different contexts. So our idea is to propose to you in maximum 20 pages, less could be, it's no problem, to present in a written document how you manage your own team. You will choose your main team, your own team. It's not a question to write a document about the general situation, but your own team. So, and when we will see your document, we must be able, when we will read this document, to understand your philosophy, your methodology, and how you are working, how you are leading your team. And perhaps for the future, we must understand you are able to adapt this methodology depend on any teams, any different context. So our B license, our B coach must be able to conceive a performance plan. We are talking about performance, not about beginners. We are not talking about youth teams. If you are talking about a youth team, you must present your performance youth team, not a general team. So you must be able to prepare and manage how you prepare and how you manage this team, your team, how you plan the preparation of your team, and how you evaluate the management of your team. Management means to explain to us how you are a leader and how you manage depend on your personality and depend on your cooperation with the players and also with the environment of your team. And as we explained some minutes ago, it's a question of complex analysis and, if possible, complex presentation of the components of the training and coaching in competition. Okay. So just, you will receive later, if you don't receive soon, a document, some minutes later, a Word document, and you will have this, all those informations the same. So just to present your team, which team, category, federation, country, precise if you are head coach or assistant coach. We know, depending on your profile, you are mainly head coach, majority of you.
Yeah, and don't forget the photo from
yes,
you.
Please, photo.
Yeah. Photo of the team. Nice.
So now have a look about this. Don't forget, it's a proposal. It's a proposal of planned proposal. You are not obliged to follow point by point from the first point till the end, to follow strictly the same. You have your own philosophy, you have your own ideas, you can move, you can present as you want, but respect the basic performance preparation team, preparation criteria. So basically, we must understand how you manage your staff. If you have someone, you can be alone. If you are alone, it's not a problem, but explain why and how you manage, how you are how you manage your team alone. So the team, staff presentation, staff status, professional coaches or experts or not, how you organize your staff, which role of each staff member. So that's basics, you know, all of this. Then precise the team leading context, which competition, which level, the context, the player status, professional or not. And now we enter, so you can add additional information in the first part. Now we enter in the main parts. So precise the main performance criteria of your team. Classical, we propose classical list, but don't forget about also this complex analysis and complex presentation and complex management. So have a look about just this is a list, and perhaps you cannot present like this, or you don't want to present like this. It's not a problem, but take care about a good presentation, good understanding, depend of us. So classically, we have criteria: morphological, physiological, physical criteria. Physical, for example, specific coordination, specific strength, specific speed, specific coordination and strength, coordination and speed. So we are talking about complex physical, specific physical abilities, and others, you know, that others criteria, physical criteria. Then we have second part, different technical and tactical criteria. So you are now, it's basic for you, but have a look about not to propose only a list of technical and tactical criteria and abilities. If you propose like a list, that's not enough for us. It must be present, depending on this complex analysis on your specific understanding. So same for individual and collective technical and tactical aspects, technical skills, each position, defensive, offensive, and you know that we have additional criteria. So same idea, same observation, we insist. You have the different technical, tactical criteria. You have individual and team technical, tactical aspects, but perhaps you can have different presentations. So same, which tactical aspects, which main basics of your game, with which main principles depend on your team, with which strategic aspects depend on your team, depend on your players, always adapted depend on your team. Now, how you manage your team depend on different psychological criteria, personality, mental qualities, how to manage emotions is not a new criteria, but the last years we take care about the emotion during competition. It's not the same like to analyze the personality or the criteria of personality, how you manage the mental qualities, and you know that we have a lot of others different psychological criteria. So the same, the main ideas and how you manage generally. The same, some pages about how you prepare depend on the main objectives and performance in the short, medium, and long term. Short term means season, medium term means 2-3 seasons, that's classical. Long term is not the main important, but you can explain a little bit. But what is interesting for us, for you, is the short term, how you prepare the short term. And inside the short term, we will see more details. Basically, we must understand also how you present your team, the level of your team, your material conditions to prepare your team, and very important, take care about the individual presentation. And we are interested that you present us or minimum your best 7 of your team. One player each position could be interesting. In more details, not too many pages. Shortly, it's a synthesis of the presentation of each player, but we must understand how you analyze and you present shortly each player. So same presentation of the team, how the team is playing in general. So it means in some sentences, we must understand how the profile of the team, or the profile, how the game of your team, the play of the team. Now we enter in a tactical part, important tactical part. When you are you are training your team. As introduction, we are interesting to understand the general principles of the game. How it's organized, the main strategic plan, for example, and then enter in defense and in attack. Please in details your defensive systems. For example, if you use 5-1 defense, if you use mainly 6-0 defense, if you use additional defense, for example, 5+1 mixed defense. If you use 6-0 defense with more offensive tactical principle depend of some positions, please precise the general organizations, the objectives, the general principles, and some specific tactics if you are using it. Present also in defense if you are in numerical superiority, which main system do you use or not? If you don't have, it's not necessary to present this. So same in numerical inferiority, for numerical inferiority. If you prepare something, which system, which general organization, and if you have special tactics in some situation. So in some, perhaps 2-3 pages, it could be enough that we understand which defensive system do you use and how it's managed. So same in attack. How do you prepare tactics against 6-0 defense, for example, or depend of an offensive defense, 3-3, how do you organize main tactics? Or if you prepare some main tactics depend of how to beat 5-1 or 1-5 or mixed defense. You know all of them, but we are interested that you present the main, not all those, the list, what you see, but the main offensive systems in attack against 3-3, for example. If you don't have this, don't present this. Do you organize something in superiority, in inferiority in attack? Do you have some special tactics in attack? Do you organize some quick throw off, some counter attacks, some special situations? Present this also. And then inside this presentation, choose only one in defense or one in attack. Choose one tactical organization and can present with your usual presentation. But interesting for us, for a coach, for a player, that you present with details like this. But don't present all tactics in defense or in attack. choose one. For example, in defense, you choose how you structure the 6-0 defense with some details like this. Choose in attack how to beat main tactics against 6-0 defense with those details. Don't present all, just choose. And then also very important, how you organize your planning and your training session. So that means how you organize a specific physical preparation, how you organize, present the general schedule of your sports season, competition. Even now, if you don't play now, like in some countries, in France, for example, only the professional teams can play. So use the period of last year if you don't have good current presentations. And then the last part, please, that's very important also for a coach, be licensed especially, how you evaluate your team. How you evaluate your team preparation project depend of results, depend of if there are differences between preparation and results. How do you explain this? Which method and tools do you use to evaluate? With technical and tactical evaluations, physical, medical, psychological evaluation, how do you use it? Which test do you use? If you use some test, physical test, medical test, and so on. And do you use some data also processing to help you to analyze your team preparation project? And at the end, short conclusion, some sentences to go forward and to know if you have some perspective of development of your team preparation project. So it seems a lot more than 20 pages, could be, but don't forget, it's like a thesis, a small thesis must be shortly presented. Means that we must, when we are reading your document, we must understand your philosophy and how you manage your team, depend of physically, mentally, tactically, and so on, and how you evaluate your own process, your own leadership.
Paul, I can show only short the document. This is a document.
Yes, that's
you prepared, and you will receive it later on from Mr. Khaled. You see, then you have a quick overview what Paul mentioned. Everything is written here so that you have an orientation. It's a Word document quickly to share.
Yes, and don't forget, it's not necessary to follow step by step this proposal. You can have, we are sure you have also different methodology. You can follow your, basically, it's very important to follow and to present your own philosophy, your own methodology, but at the end, we must understand how you are organized and how you manage your team.
Yeah. And also what we mentioned before in the content of B license courses, it's clear you must also describe a little bit your own game philosophy. What are the positive things in your team? What maybe are the problems, but how you can use this for adapted game philosophy. So I think that's very important.
Remember that a B license, A license, when we try to evaluate the competencies, it's not a question if we have a very good knowledge of the list of basics, of principles, of all principles, all tactics, all tests, and so on. But the main idea is how we manage this and how he is able to adapt in his own context. That's very important for us also to understand this.
And if you are in a moment responsible for a youth team, then you can use similar principles to present. Now, how you want to develop each player. What is his status? What are the main topics in the future? What could be the specific profile? You know, there's always the question: what is this a quick player? Is it a tall player? But what you can develop with such players. So that is also a question in talent training. So that could be also interesting. So it's not necessary to describe a top team in a club championship. It's also when you are responsible for a youth team, that's also very important. How you want to develop each player for the future. Okay, Paul, questions, I think.
Yes.
Questions from your side to this. Maybe later you can also send mails to Khaled if you have a question later on. When you start the preparation, send this to Khaled, and Khaled can communicate this with us. That is not a problem.
Yes,
But
we can confirm tomorrow, for example, to come back to some additional.
yes, yeah. We in each session we can do this. Normally, one of us is always a little bit present. Sometimes we have a little bit difficult, of course, parallel. It is a coach's course in China running, and sometimes the times are overlapping, but in general, one of us are always present. Okay, in the moment, some questions, we can do it also later. No, not a problem. Khaled, do you have a remark or something else?
No, thank you, Dietrich, and thank you, Paul. Everything is okay, and the homework is already sent by email.
Okay, super.
Guys, you can check your email box, you will have it.
Yeah,
And
fine.
if you need anything, just send me an email or WhatsApp. I'm ready to help.
So stress is on you. You have now 11 days.
Yeah, a little bit stress, you know, that is normal. A coach in the B license area must also work a little bit under stress. That is normal. That is normal. And we simulate this a little bit, but it's more a joke.